What's up, everybody? You're watching JoeBox TV, and I'm here to recap the historic upset that took place this past weekend. Andy Ruiz, the newly crowned heavyweight champion. Anthony Joshua came in as the enormous favorite, but Andy Ruiz shocked the world. And I know I didn't see this coming. I don't think any boxing experts saw this coming, really. And I know Anthony Joshua didn't see this coming. Let's break this down. I think ultimately the main conclusion to draw from this is that, hey, looks can be deceiving. Anthony Joshua, this well-built, impressive frame, muscular. Andy Ruiz, big belly, 268 pounds. Coming into the fight, I expected Anthony Joshua to take him out in about 5 rounds. And I think that's about the average prediction. I think that's about the range that most predicted Joshua would stop him. Here's the thing. Andy Ruiz fought, I believe, 5 weeks before this against Alexander Dimitrenko. A fight that he won. He came in at 262 pounds. On the weigh-in Friday night before he fought Anthony Joshua, he was the heaviest since 2014 at 268. And I was thinking to myself, is this guy really up for the task? I don't think he is. And believe it or not, with that weight comes a lot of power and deceptively quick hands. Ruiz showed his ability to string punches together in combinations, and Joshua had no answers. Joshua was very tight and stiff in there, and never really settled into a rhythm, it seemed. Let me give you the full breakdown of what I saw. Upon the opening bell, I could almost immediately tell that something was a little bit off with Anthony Joshua. As I just said, he seemed very tense in there. I don't know if he was nervous. I'd assume so, because this was his U.S. debut at the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, and he's going into a fight where he's widely expected to win by pretty much everybody. There have been reports post-fight that Anthony Joshua was out of it going into this fight and was disconnected, and something didn't quite seem right with him mentally. Bottom line, anytime you go into a big fight like this, or any fight, you gotta be mentally prepared. No excuses. Now I gotta say, that's coming from Anthony Joshua's team. That's not coming from Joshua himself. I thought he took the loss very graciously, showed great sportsmanship. I don't know if he had much choice, but he did take the loss very well and respectfully. Going back to what I saw in the ring on Saturday night, I actually gave Anthony Joshua the first 2 rounds. I thought he was landing more punches. He still wasn't using his jab enough for a big man. He wasn't controlling range the way he should. But it did seem like early on Ruiz was having trouble getting inside, and Joshua was landing most of the clean head-snapping punches. And the reason I wasn't giving Ruiz much of a shot here coming in was because I didn't think he would have the defensive capabilities to avoid getting caught by Joshua. And it turns out he did get caught by Joshua in the 3rd round. Joshua knocked Ruiz down with a tremendous left hook, knocked Ruiz flat on the canvas. It looked like maybe this could be the beginning of the end. But then that's where Joshua became reckless. He got caught with a vicious left hook right on the temple that just rocked him to his shoes. And from that point on, he was never the same. I remember I was going crazy when Ruiz went in for the kill, knocked Joshua down. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then Joshua gets up. As soon as he's starting to recover again, Ruiz pounces yet again, takes him into the corner, scores another knockdown as Joshua is slumped up against the ropes. I did think the referee gave Joshua a lot of time at the end of that third round when, after the second knockdown, he was able to survive the round, but it did not stop Andy Ruiz's momentum. He kept up the momentum in round 4, punished Joshua with some more vicious combinations. Round 5, it actually looked to me like Joshua was starting to get back into a rhythm. Still not fighting tall like he should, still getting caught, but, it looked like he was slowly starting to get a rhythm, but not completely in the rhythm that we're used to seeing. And it didn't take long for Ruiz to catch him again. 4 knockdowns. This proves it wasn't a fluke. This is not Ruiz getting lucky with one big shot. This is a determined challenger taking the fight to him round by round, knocking him down multiple times, and just outwilling the champion. Ultimately, Joshua's inability to keep the shorter Ruiz off of him and keep him at the right distance proved critical. As soon as Ruiz was right in Joshua's wheelhouse, just ripping those short, compact power punches on the inside, Joshua could not outslug him. Ruiz actually looked like he had the faster hands, believe it or not. And in the 7th round, Ruiz was just peppering Joshua with more combinations. Dropped him for a 3rd time, a 4th time, and the referee had no choice but to call a halt to the fight. And that's where it gets interesting. Watching it live, it actually looked to me like Joshua quit. I really did. I was like, wow, he quit? Upon looking at the replay, he actually didn't quit. He said he wanted to continue. He told the ref he wanted to continue. But looking at Joshua's body language, it didn't really look like he wanted to keep going. His body language to me looked like, hey, I don't want to say I don't want to continue, I don't want to quit here, but at the same time, this isn't my night. I don't really want to go on. This guy's too much for me tonight. That's what I saw. And as I said, the referee had no choice but to stop it. Andy Ruiz pulls off just a monumental upset. One of the biggest upsets in heavyweight history. In boxing, period. I've heard some people saying this is the biggest upset since Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. I'd have to look back and see if there's any since then that are as big as this one, but I know it certainly ranks high up there among boxing upsets. Congratulations to Andy Ruiz, the new heavyweight champion, WBO, WBA, and IBF heavyweight champion, and the first champion of Mexican descent to win a heavyweight world title. Now, looking ahead, Andy Ruiz says he wants the rematch with Anthony Joshua in Mexico. I believe they do have a rematch clause. Question is, does Joshua really want it? I know he said in the post-fight interview to Ruiz, we'll be seeing you again. But I don't know. Now that he's had time to process it, it's going to be interesting to see what his mindset is coming forward. What adjustments is Joshua going to make if they do end up having the rematch? I believe they will. I think it should be pretty entertaining. Let me know what you guys think if we end up seeing the rematch. Who are you picking? Again, I just did not see this coming. I mean, I knew Ruiz had heavy hands and deceptively quick hands. I just didn't think he'd be able to get to Joshua before Joshua got to him. But really, Joshua did get to him first, knocked him down, but couldn't finish him. As soon as Ruiz caught him in that third round, when Joshua got reckless, he was never the same. He really showed some mental vulnerabilities, mental weaknesses here, I thought. I think upsets like this are great for the heavyweight division. It really keeps the division moving, and I really like the state that the division is in right now. I like the state that boxing is in right now. I would like to see a little bit more of the best fighting the best. And now it's going to be interesting to see, will we ever see Wilder versus Joshua? Because that's the big fight that everyone wanted to see. Now that seems like it's in jeopardy unless Joshua can get his revenge in the near future. So, let me know what you guys think. Until next time, JoeBox TV, out.